So here we are, Fireside Chat again. It's an odd time of year. I don't want to use that word unprecedented, but we're coming up to Christmas. Lockdown 2 is meant to end 2nd of December. Lots say it won't, and we see a lot of inflation in numbers trying to push the same narrative. But from a business perspective, with work from home or work in the office or whatever, with a normal Christmas period coming up and quite a challenging environment, how do businesses get through this uncertainty until the new year?
So COVID Christmas.
So here it is, Merry Christmas.
I can feel a single coming out. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 motherfucker. A bit of Die Hard.
Welcome to the party, pal.
You know, I've been absolutely buzzing this week. There are certain weeks of the year where I just get a wiggle on and things just bursting with energy. And this is one of those weeks for me which could set up half a year. And it sounds crazy, but you know, I've always lived my life. This is that absolutely spectacular week. It's 6 weeks before Christmas. We're 7 to 8 weeks before January starters. Look at what your best month is. Look at what your average month is. Split the mean and times that by 2.5. That's the revenue that you should be generating as starters between December and or through December and January. Then you can actually work out, based on your average conversion rates, what activity needs to go in onto that. So including interviews and vacancies. That's your principal driver for all of this. So if you think that's what I need to achieve the goal, what do I need to do now? I've got 2 weeks as a warm up to get activity going. So that's my marketing, that's my direct marketing, that's events. One of my mates as a pirate went around yesterday, halfway through November, giving out bottles of whiskey to people on building sites, saying, "Has nobody else been to see you?" Walked away with a bag of swag of vacancies you've never seen before in your life, because he was just the first one to do it. People are inviting people onto virtual comedy nights. People are inviting people to not anything but a quiz, right? But there's loads and loads of things going on. You've got the CEO phoning people and thanking them for the business this year, doing a QA call to talk about how well the business did, phoning up people that they had vacancies from but didn't place to say, "Thank you very much, really appreciate it." You can still buy tickets for theatre shows and just say, anyone who gives me a vacancy where I can get a seller retainer, it'd be tickets for 4 people and dinner out as a thank you, because let's end this year and get it behind us, because 2021 is going to be amazing, because compared to this shit, yeah, what would it be?
2020!
Right, so that excitement and energy is just rinsing out of me. And just by doing that, the people are getting amazing response. I mean, amazing. At the moment, you can phone anybody. They need to get loads of activity over the line. They need to get their projects finished before Christmas. There are fewer gatekeepers around at the moment, so you can speak to really important people. If you've got a legitimate business reason, if you can nail your Trojan horses, so legitimate business reasons to talk to a CEO apart from use the R word. So if you've got an advocate piece who can open their black book and walk you through the front door of organizations because they know what's going on. If you're anywhere down, I mean, we're a long way down the line with that with our members, but if you're even touching upon that, this is a brilliant time of year to be doing that stuff. So that having competitions for Christmas, right? So some sort of Advent thing, whatever it takes. I think Nikki Barker did that really great. You could get a sheet that you stick against the wall and it looks like a fireside, Christmas fireside, a Victorian one with a Christmas tree and a roaring fire. It's beautiful. And then you just put loads and loads of boxes around it. So you can have targets for a new business, getting people to come onto an event, doing a round table, whatever it takes. How much money? Let me ask you the question, Dinos, right? So we know if you walk into January and you have got loads of starters, the best pipeline of retained business that you've ever had. You've got loads of interviews going on. People skip into that office, holding hands, so excited to be there because they're walking into a pipeline, momentum. They probably would have made loads of calls through Christmas and New Year to make sure that that's still there. If you don't work Christmas brilliantly and you walk into that cold office with tumbleweed going, unless you're breathing, you can just still see the steam off of your breath. And it's just the lights won't work and just flicker, right? It's a shithole to walk into. You've got to push water uphill. That's really hard, right? You don't start, if you start Monday right, the rest of the week looks after itself. If you start January right, then you've got a massive chance that you're going to get a decent Q1. If you get a Q1, Q1 done, you get H1 done, right? It's straight line stuff. How much money would you spend to make sure you walked into an absolutely brilliant January? What's that worth to you?
It's worth a lot of money. It's worth a lot of money, but it's not just worth the billings for Christmas and January, right? As you said, it's your run rate, it's your momentum, it's your springboard to go in. But just going back to your point about how can you ruin Christmas, have a bad run up to Christmas. Don't put in all the effort. Just get caught with the Christmas spirit and the mulled wine and everything else. And then spend your time over Christmas thinking, am I going to make it? And if we're to believe LinkedIn's figures, January is when most people change jobs. Why is that? Because they're going into the new year. A lot of them feeling like, well, I need a change. I need to boost my career. But those who are successful go in with clarity of goal and knowing that they've got this springboard and they don't want to give up what they've done. I've put in so much effort here. Why would I give that up in January to go and work for you? Those people being headhunted over that Christmas period to go and work somewhere else in January, the end of January, February, have probably not worked hard now, okay? And even if you work hard, you'll get the best you can get. Even if you don't bill significantly between now and the end of the year, you would have great pipeline, relationships, great rapport and affinity with your clients. We're not asking anybody to breach the Bribery Act and go out and give people things over and above, but a bit of appreciation, right? Because they have done business with you. But you've also got to recognise you've delivered a really good service, because quite easily they can switch you off. So you've both done a really good job, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, with a win-win. Just make sure you recognise it. And that, do you know what? Sometimes even more than your pay packet, doing that deal, that buzz, that relationship, coming away from a client meeting where you've got on like a house on fire, and you're talking about what you're going to do together in the new year. That can be enough to buzz you over Christmas. So yeah, put in the effort, because the only person you're cheating is yourself if you don't.
Well, I call it tickling trout. So even if you're just working with I don't know, if anybody here was a poacher, you would understand what I'm talking about, but you tickle your trout and you check them out, right? So it's tickling trout. So it's a really easy time to speak to your customers. You can empathize with them. You can understand all their frustrations. You can talk about their changing priorities. You can talk about what didn't get done that needs to get done. A lot of people were trying to get bonuses, and people who were based on IT projects, for example, if they haven't got their projects over the line, they're not getting paid. So if they were pushing them back, what can you do? There's a lot of people who didn't use, they were using furlough money, so they didn't have people working. So you could use that now for freelancers. So it's a great time to do a pop-up team for, statement of works. I mean, the stuff that you can talk about at the moment is brilliant, but you can just tickle these clients all the way through this time. That you remember back in the days of the CF days. I mean, we were doing deals on Christmas Eve like you wouldn't believe, and we didn't finish till 3 because it was one of the best times, because everyone's actually, they're having their parties in the office, and it's just like, we'll send someone on the 2nd. Is that all right? Thank you. Thank you. It was just funny. It was brilliant fun. And I remember all of those moments. They were properly, they're sort of pillars in my love for that business, because the amount of fun we had. So I'm very excited about Christmas. Can you tell? Yeah,
I can. Do you know what? You brought back a memory there. I'd been with CF only 4 months when my first Christmas came around. And I'd actually been a teetotaler for a couple of years before joining CF. So Christmas ruined that for me. But I got asked, do you want to be on call over Christmas? Because it used to be like an on call by Warwick, my team leader. I was like, absolutely, be on call. Because I was like, what else do I want to be doing other than doing business and deals? And I was just, 4 months in. How many people put their hand up at 4 months in and say, yeah, but I'll be on call, I'll come in anytime over Christmas? And it's just because you know you've put in the effort. You know that the next year is going to be great. And something I've got for one of our panels on Friday for this lobbying against lockdown is on an article I read from a serial investor that said, look, after the Spanish flu in 1918, what came? The Roaring Twenties, right? Where everybody wanted to be indulgent and they wanted to do things that they hadn't been able to do, right? So we might be going into the Roaring 2020s, right? Where all the winners and losers pre-post COVID change again, right? So why wouldn't you want to be set up for that, for this catalyst of change? No matter what we think's going on with the government saying it's going to be spring or whatever else, I think there's enough evidence and waiting on the other side to bring this to a head sooner rather than later. So give it 100%. You've got nothing to lose.
Brilliant. Right. Well, on that note, look, we wish everybody a happy and joyous Christmas. I think whatever Matt Hancock says, I think we're all going to be with our families regardless. So that's the most pointless thing. So this the 5 days of Christmas that we'll be given by a very generous government. And that's me and thee, who are big time Tories, just actually hating what's going on with the Tory party and everything at the moment. So, but we won't talk about that today. We wish everybody a lovely and joyful Christmas. Really enjoy your December, but what like absolute video. Make sure there's a Christmas jar. So if anyone mentions it, 50 quid in, and then just, unless they're talking to a client, and then just smash it for next year and walk into a bag of fun as you walk into January. Brilliant. Right. Peace and love. Ho, ho, ho.
Shalom.
Right.